Hello again. So I'm here. So in this video, I want to talk about Module 3 of your SATC 101 assignment here. And so this module is kind of focused on the Federal Register. And so we want to talk a little bit more about the Federal Register. We talked about it some in the last module. But I want to talk to you about a few things here, about searching by citation, and just some of the information about what's actually in the Federal Register. Okay, so let's talk first about citations here when we're looking at the Federal Register. You can see here this guide here provides a pretty good explanation of that. You can see that a lot of times you're going to have a citation is going to look like this. You're going to have a number here in front of the Fed Reg, which of course is short for Federal Register, and then another number here, and a lot of times there are long numbers there. And then down here it explains what all of this means here. So, okay, so 71 is the volume of the Federal Register. And that usually corresponds with the year because in this case 71 would be the volume for 2006. And it continues that way each year. And so 72 would be 2007, 73 would be 2008. And then from there, again, you know, as I mentioned, the Fed Reg means short for the abbreviation for Federal Register. And then the long number you see there equals the page number on which you would find that in the actual Federal Register itself, either the print copy or the online copy. Excuse me. And as again, as I mentioned before about the Federal Register, and let's actually go now to the Federal Register site. Again, we'll just type in Federal Register here into Google. And what we're going to do here is click on, let's go to this first one here, the federalregister.gov. And as, you know, as I mentioned in the last video, this is where you can find the most recent up-to-date information for this year and for the actual day that you're looking at here. Now remember that when we're talking about the Federal Register, we're talking about notices, proposed rules, and rules is primarily what you find. Sometimes you do find some things like presidential document, just meaning that it's a document that it's a notice, but it's similar to the notices in that but it's in a separate category because it's a presidential document. So this was issued by the Executive Office of the President, but it gets its own term because, or its own designation because it's a presidential document. But the notices here, this often is going to be things like agency decisions on a particular issue or notice of committee meetings, things like that. Here this has to do with an environmental impact statement. You'll find that. Notice of petitions by firms, a public meeting, things like that. So you get a lot of those here in the Federal Register. The proposed rules, those are actual rules that are proposed by agencies on a particular subject here. What happens is they put out the proposed rule that they're going to, it's something that they're proposing to put into a regulation they're proposing to put into effect. And then when we get to the actual rules, those end up going into the CFR. But right now, here looking at a proposed rule, so this has to do, this is from the FAA dealing with Airbus helicopters. So there's a summary of the rule, and then you can see here that they're legally required to allow for public comments. And you can see there that the comments are gives you the date in which they stop taking comments, and you're allowed to go in and actually make comments here. Comments invited, and it gives you shows you where you can go in order to make comments about this proposed rule. And then at that point, they're supposed to take those comments into effect before they actually decide to pass that as a final rule. And the final rules, as we see here, there are the 12 rules. Those are the rules that are going to go into effect, and that they will then appear in the Code of Federal Regulations. Because when they're codified, final rules that are passed will go over and appear in the CFR. So here is a final ruling by the Small Business Administration dealing with coronavirus aid relief and the Paycheck Protection Program. So that is something that's the final rule is made, and then it will be going to the Code of Federal Regulations as a regulation that will be legally enforced by the federal government. Okay, so now let's go over. Let's go back here. Let's go down to the GovInfo version of the Federal Register. Now this is going to be your primary place, as I mentioned in the previous videos. This is going to be your primary place to go to actually search for information in the Federal Register and to look for the Federal Register, search for the Federal Register citations that you have. Okay, let's continue with just to give you an example, we're going to use the citation that we had here in the example just to show you how to search for that. And so each time you want to search for information in GovInfo, what you're going to do here is go up to the search button here near the top of the screen. Then you're going to go over and choose citation. Then you're going to choose the collection. So at this point, you go down, you find Federal Register from the list there. And again, the volume, which corresponds with the year. So we're going to choose, it was 71, 4298, or yeah, 4928 was the citation. So 71 for 2006. And then the page number we put in again was the 42928. And that'll bring you to the actual page in the Federal Register. So in this case, this was final rules. You can see the action there. Final rule dealing with hazardous waste management from the EPA. And it shows you here too, you can see where this rule is going to show up in the Federal Register. So it's going to show up in Title 40, Parts 9, 260, 261, and 271. And then there's that page number we talked about. So, you know, in the print version, that's where you'd see it. Also here with the electronic version, you know, there's the page number that you see there. And here is that information that we had, 71, and then that date that we saw there, July 28th, 2006. So when we're talking about searching by citation, that's the way you're going to want to do it if you have that citation there. Again, you can, you know, if you have the date that goes with that citation, as we saw here, you know, we have it, and that's usually part of the citation. Especially when we're talking about Federal Register, you know, you need to have that date a lot of times. I mean, you can also, I mean, if you have the volume number as well, which will help you with the date, but a lot of times, you will have that date that goes along with it because, again, as I mentioned before about the Federal Register, it's published each day. So it's basically and that's why it's referred to as the newspaper of the federal government. So it's published each day. And so in this case, it's July 28th, 2006. And so another way, again, and I mentioned this in Module 2, the way you can find this is to scroll down, find the year. So we're looking for 2006, and we're going to go to July. And you just sort of drill down to find it here. Just keep clicking through until you find the page you're looking for. And so we're going down to July 28th. And this is where it gets a little trickier because you kind of need to know what the rule was concerning. So if we know it was an EPA rule, then we can find it from there. And then remember, we had the page number, which was 42928, which you can see falls in this range here, this number range here. So you go there, and we'll scroll down, and there it is there. So you can do that, although, you really do need to know the actual date, and you need to know exactly what, agency was responsible for the rule that you're looking for in order to find it that way. But hopefully, if you do just have the citation, you can find it you doing the citation search, as I showed you. Now, another way you can search here, I do want to show you the advanced search. Now, this is primarily going to use this when you're looking to search for information on rules or regulations and you do not have a specific citation. So you just have a subject. So let's say we're going to, and you can, in this way, you can search simultaneously more than one collection. So we can search for the CFR. We'll mark that, we'll click that there. We'll go down and find Federal Register. So now we're going to be looking for the rules and the regulations concerning a particular subject. You can see here, search, this is just like searching in a database here. As far as it's a full text search, so we're just going to enter our keyword. So let's say we want to find all of the rules and regulations. We don't have a specific date here that deal with petroleum. And so we'll do the search there. And you can see we're coming up with lots of different things here. In order to, let's say we want to take a look at the CFR here, this section dealing with petroleum products. You just click the PDF link there, and that takes you to this section dealing with these regulations that relate to petroleum and petroleum products. So that's another way to search for rules and regulations. If you don't have the citation, don't have a specific date, you can use that there. Another thing I wanted to mention to you about GovInfo, and regardless of what you're searching for, if you're searching for the Federal Register or you're searching for the CFR, you're searching for public and private laws, as I mentioned in a previous video, you can always go here to the help. The help page is very a very informative page that they have here. They have a pretty extensive help page. So if you do need something to refer to as you're searching, maybe you forget some of the things I talked about here in the videos, you can go to this help page and find more information here. And it's got it broken down into different sections. You can go here, show you how to find information, how to search. It's got search tips and sample searches listed there. You can go over here and get help with a specific collection. So you can go over and find the help page for the Code of Federal Regulations right there. I see the Federal Register right there. So keep those in mind, because I know a lot of times you're going to have questions, and you know, this is you know, if you're not familiar, once you get the hang of this, I think it'll get easier. But when you're just starting out and doing this, it can be difficult. So be sure to make use of this help page, and then of course, if you have questions, you know, please contact me and let me know. And again, let's go here to the library homepage. And again, that's where you can find my contact information. We're going to go under resources here. Or actually, let's go, there's a couple different places you can find my, let's go under About Us and then Library Staff. That's probably the easiest path to my contact information there. You can see, you just scroll down and you can find my contact information there. Give me a call, send me an email if you have questions. And again, if you're really struggling with these assignments, you know, let me know. We can contact me. We can set up an appointment. I can sit down and do some searching with you and help you find what the information that you need to find. So that's all for this module. I'll see you in the next video for Module 4.